webinar series. Tonight's webinar is for the MWBE certification discussion on the certification. We have some panelists here today, and they're going to talk about their businesses and about their experiences applying for the certification and looking for the contract opportunities. Each will come on and introduce themselves, talk about their business and where are they in the MWBE process. Are they certified? Have they gotten contracts? Or, what are the best avenues that an MWBE certified business can go to or go through to look for these opportunities? First, we'll start off with Reginald.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Reginald. I'm from upstate New York, probably like an hour north of New York City. So I'm just gonna talk about, I guess I could talk about some of the businesses and stuff like that. So I have a clothing business, and that's initially what I applied for the MBE for, and that was back in 2020 during COVID. I was kind of just researching ways on how to become marketable and how to, progress in the business, like as opposed to what I was already doing, like online stuff and like social media, digital media. So I started applying for the MBE. That was definitely a bumpy process initially. Just having all the documents together and trying to put everything out there. And then as I was applying for it, I got a lot of questions back and forth on like, hey, what do you mean by this? And I didn't have a lot of documentation together. So it took like, I want to say 2 years. So now I have a consulting business. We specialize in project management, data analytics. So I'm actually going through the same process, but I got some help now from Kenya, so now it's pretty straightforward, and she kind of helped me through the process with that. So we just submitted it about 2 weeks ago. As far as like opportunities, I've been looking on the contract reporter for opportunities. I applied for my first contract about a week ago, I would say, on there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I set up the alerts, so I get a lot of alerts on upcoming contracts and the ones that are like posted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been just searching that way, and I actually went to a MBE procurement expo that was about a little less than a month ago. So that was very interesting. That kind of opened me up to like the networking side of it, which is pretty cool. And every table that I went to, everybody was so helpful, and they're like, you gotta have a certification. They're like catering some of these contracts towards MBE. So I kind of helped me understand the magnitude of having the certification. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. We'll come back to you with a few more questions. Okay. The next person, Anthony. Let's you can introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, this is Anthony Estevez from World Class Language Solutions. I have an interpretation company, translation company. We've been certified, I believe, for about 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years, and I think that was great. That was a good decision, a good move, because doors open. You have more doors open when you are certified. We've been in business for about 10 years or 12 years, 2012, so 13 years. I was coming from something different, nothing related to translation. So I started from zero, so I didn't know what to do, basically. That's why I approached this program. And I'm really thankful to you guys, because you were able to guide me and tell me this is the way to go. So it really helped a lot. And one of those is the certification for the minority small business. At the beginning, I was trying to do different things, but I think I was trying to buy too much, being small. So I realized that these big companies, in order to get a contract, sometimes they have to give it higher, or to give some percentage of this contract to small business that is certified. So I started to contact them and saying, hey, in simple words, you're big, I'm small, but you need me basically. And that worked a little bit because we got some work, and that's how everything started. I think you're muted, Kenya.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for sharing, and we'll be back with more questions. I'll come back to you. Daphne?
Hi, everyone. My name is Daphne Baptiste. I have a cleaning business. I started my cleaning business in 2000, earlier 2019. I became certified December 17th of 2022. For me, it wasn't a hard process because I'm a very organized person as well, organized person. So I didn't experience a lot of challenges. But as we go on with this webinar, I'll be able to go more into details of what that process looked like for me.
Okay, were you able to locate any contract opportunities, Daphne?
I wasn't able to close on any contract opportunities as of yet, but I was able to bid on a lot of opportunities, which was awesome. Some of the bidding was like Stony Brook Hospital, Long Island Jewish. I got there was a school contract as well. So just being able to be in that presence of being able to bid because of my certification was a major win for me, even though I didn't close on the contract, but it gave me the experience of what does it look like, what's out there, what are my competitors, and just the experience overall, which I was grateful for, even though I didn't close on any of them.
Well, that the paperwork, right? Completing those bids, the price, the quotes, I mean, it's all about the pricing. And what was your experience with completing those and getting that submitted back in?
That's an experience within itself. For someone like me walking in and not knowing, right? I had to ask a lot of questions, right? Of, okay, some of the questions, even just bidding, right? Because you don't want to underbid and you don't want to overly bid. So finding what the right numbers are and making sure that those numbers are good for your business as well, and for the person that's looking to hire you as your service. But the paperwork was long. There was a lot of questions. Good thing, one part about being certified as MWBE is that having insurance, right? That plays a big part of getting your certification. So what a part of the bidding is asking you about your insurance. What type of insurance you have, how many employees you have. My advice to people is if you're in your business and you're solo and it's only you, don't wait until you start having close a contract to hire someone, right? Start hiring now. My advice also is you have a boss mentality. You are the CEO of your business. You're not the employee. And even if you are going to be the employee, have a business plan. Okay, I'm gonna be an employee for 6 months, for a year. And the goal is I want to hire someone to work. So I'll be able to take care of the paperwork, making sure everything is in order. So that's really important.
Thank you for sharing, Daphne. I'll be back with more questions. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, how are you? Daphne, I think that was great advice that you gave. I'm Stephanie McIntosh. I am the owner of NTC Language Services. And I think looking at the MWBE process, the best advice that I can give is go to as many workshops as you can, attend with as many people as you can. We were just founded in 2018. We received our certification within 6 weeks of applying. So we're kind of a little bit of an anomaly looking at that. We just did our reapplication. So we're waiting for that to come through because we had 5 years of certification. So now we're waiting for that to come through. I will tell you that there are times where you're going through it that you say, oh my goodness, you feel like they know your entire life story. by the time you're done. But I can tell you, if you're just starting, it's really worth it. To give you an idea from a financial perspective, my partner and I founded this translation interpretation company. Our first year, we did about 20 grand in sales. Our last tax year, we're now up about 675,000. So that is because, and I will tell you that is because of the MWBE. We hold contracts with every school district in the state of New York. And it's not just that we offer high quality services, which I know we do. School districts, government agencies, they have to hire MWBEs. Anybody who receives state funding needs to spend a certain amount of that funding on an MWBE. So part of what I will definitely say is be creative in how your services can help these government agencies. Because sometimes they sit there and they say, you know, we're not really sure we need you, or we're not really sure you're a fit. And it's up to you as the business owner to have that creativity, to show them why your business is the best fit for them. Because if they don't spend a certain percentage of their grant money on an MWBE, they lose it. They have to give it back. So part of it is, as much as they're helping us as small businesses, we're helping them too. And when you're looking at some of these government agencies, all this information is public, but a lot of them are getting millions of dollars in money that they have to use on MWBEs. And they may not disclose that, but it's our job as the business owner to kind of do the research, figure out what resources they have, and show them how we can help them to spend that money, because sometimes they honestly don't have any idea how to do it. I get so many calls from government agencies. We just finished a contract with the Department of Labor for New York State. We get so many calls from agencies that say, we don't know how to spend this money. We're going to wind up at a bookstore, just buying books from an MWBE bookstore because we don't know what to do. So we've gotten to the point at our company that we say, you know what? We will help you spend that money because we don't want you to have that problem, you know, and we'll help you go through and do that research. For anybody, Kenya, like anybody you want to share my information with, you know me, I'm always open with that.
If you want, a little later, you could put it in the chat.
Definitely, you know, we
Indeed.
subscribe to the Contract Reporter as well. So I would definitely say to do that. I feel like networking is your best, you know, is your best thing, but it's also realizing that, you know, we hired a lot of people in the beginning to write our RFPs for us. But then we realized that you're the business owner. Nobody else can tell your story like you can. Nobody else can paint that picture and have that passion about what you do like anybody else. So it's definitely important to start now and start thinking about what makes you different. What's your differentiator? Because that's part of, as you're going through the MWBE process, you want to be ready to hit the ground running. And you need to be able to tell people in 5-10 minutes or less why they need you and nobody else to do their business. So I really feel like nobody's going to be as passionate as you all are. You know, everybody here has a different business, a different voice, a different piece to offer. But you can't get discouraged because we've gotten a lot of no's before we got yeses. But I will tell you, right now we hold about 50 contracts. And they're all because we're an MWBE. So, you know, it is definitely worth it. You know, there are so many times that I walk up to people and, you know, when they ask that question, they're looking for you to help them figure out how to make it work. So, you know, like I said, I'll definitely share my information with anybody because you got to pay it forward. But my best advice is definitely be organized, like Daphne said, you know, like look at that piece and add that together. We have a lot of electronic systems that we use. One of the systems that we use is for our accounting, we use QuickBooks. I used to think I could do it all myself. Can't. But what's beautiful is when you go for certification, all the reports you need, 75-80% of them, you can get out of the QuickBooks program. Like you don't have to be a math whiz. You just have to write the right software to help you be there. So there are certain investments that we have now that I wish I would have had 5 years ago. And that's where I feel like, Kenya, if I can share my information, why should people make the same mistakes that I made 5-6 years ago? Like, why not save them that time so they can get to that total a little quicker, you know, so we can do that. So anything at all, you know, I definitely would say to reach out. We're nothing if we don't pay it forward. You know, absolutely.
I just want to piggyback on what you said a while back about any state agency. It's any authority, anyone to
Yeah,
get funding. So I know you say, well, how, if you're a beautician and you're like, well, how can I do business with the state authority? Right, or a state official. So it doesn't have to be an authority. It could be any agency, any company that gets funding, right? And it's a 30% goal. WBE is 15%, MBE is another 15%.
it is, and you'll receive RFPs through the contract reporter that even say they're exclusive
Mhm.
to MWBEs. So that's important to look at. But definitely the capability statement, I would definitely work with Kate, Kenny, and the people at Suffolk, because it has to look good, it has to say everything quickly. But you wouldn't believe how many agencies we've sent them to, and they call us because they want to go over. So little, like a one pager can be your lifeline. So, there's definitely things like that that can make a big difference. But like I said, it's all about selling you, because at the end of the day, it's you that's going to make the difference. It's how much passion you have and how much you believe in what you do. And I think, I would love to see, Reginald, what you do with the data analytics, because I think so many people are lacking on that. And what you could offer to MWBEs, that's a part of the RFPs all the time, is tell me data about your business. If you can do that succinctly and you could put that together for people, if I were you, I'd be sharing your information with everybody here, because I think this makes a lot of sense, and I think it could be a win-win. Given what you do, the business you're in, there's not a lot of people that do it, but when you do it well, you can open up doors for people that they don't even know are out there.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. So with the certification, say you certified, and we talked a little bit about networking and how it's, I say, your best friend, because that's the way that you get branded, you get noticed, right? Your capability statement, meeting these buyers at the conferences is a way to get out there. How did you guys go about, you and Stephanie and Anthony, go about getting those contracts? Was it through networking, or was it through just emailing your capability statement to the buyers? How did you land so many, Stephanie?
For us, it wasn't just emailing the capability statement. I'm going to be honest, like that was the first step. And that was, but we followed everything up with phone calls. We followed it up with that personal connection. I attend just about every workshop, every meeting, everything you can do in my industry. My name is out there. If we don't have a table, we've got a stack of business cards, and we are talking to everybody. I make sure that I'm at that conference lunch. I'm not one of those people that go out and leave. I stay, because that's the best time to just go up and just meet people. I've gone to everything from the MWBE events to picking up contracts at things in the industry. Honestly, I found that when you go to workshops, people expect it, kind of. I make sure that when I'm out there, I have my promotional material with me all the time. We're always updating it. That was one of our biggest investments, was hiring a PR firm to do like the one pagers for us, so that when we go out, and to have our business cards. And there's not a place we go. True story, we got a contract with Maryland, and I just happened to be on a family trip to Washington, DC, met people from the Family Service League, and now we're their interpretation translation company. And I am an MWBE in Maryland as well, so we did extend to other states. But I would definitely say that you never know who you're going to be sitting down with a table at, or who you're going to be talking to. I have my cards, my family is so embarrassed, but like, I have my cards when I'm out at dinner. I have my cards like everywhere we go. I got a contract, no lie, in Disney. We were on vacation, met somebody, came back, met with them. Now we have the contract. You never know where you're going to meet people. But I think that part of it is definitely, you have to have that capability statement. You have to have it with you everywhere. I would definitely say attending the MWBE forums. We go to workshops not only with Suffolk, but we reached out, we do Stony Brook and LaGuardia as well. The LaGuardia Center is excellent for that, for networking. You name it, I'm all over New York. But I definitely feel like there are times that I've been in a meeting and it was a 5-minute meeting, and I walked out with $50,000 contract. So to me, I'll take that. I definitely feel like it's learning how to speak about your business succinctly and confidently, when you go in, but have that capability statement, have really clear, easy to read business cards that you can bring with you everywhere. And I feel like, we did our brochure, like a magazine brochure of our services. And I have sent that to every school district in New York State. Our return rate on that mailing was really good. We wound up with a 75% of the districts that we sent to it signed with us. So I will definitely say that that's all a part of it. I also think one of the things that I found to be most beneficial is like a meeting like this. It's really important to share your information with other people. This morning, I was chosen to be part of an incubator with Pursuit Bank. And there were 15 businesses on that call, all MWBEs. By the end of the call, I made sure everybody had everybody's contact information because somebody owned a little coffee shop that needed, brochures done that I can do. And somebody else did data and they needed to have that information. And from all of us meeting, everybody else was able to pick up other jobs from that. So I would say definitely, even these kind of workshops, try to get your information out there. Don't be shy because nobody's going to do it for you. Does that make sense, Kenny? Is that what you were looking for?
That's perfect. Thank
Okay.
you. How about you, Anthony?
What Stephanie says is true, and I'm gonna condense it into words, or maybe one word: your passion to do things. When you like something, when you have that passion, you don't feel like you're working. At the beginning, I remember I was by myself again, out of nowhere, out of nothing, so I had to do everything myself. And I remember Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I remember people were around me eating or something. I was at a computer. I was looking for a place, like a little office, because I didn't feel I was working. I love it. I love business. Also networking. That's for me, that's the key. That's the easier way and better way. I used to attend, different workshops, stuff like that, or meetings, any type of meetings, because as you said, you never know what you're gonna run into. My idea at the beginning when I started was to open a cleaning business. So I attended a meeting. I think it was a seminar or a meeting for something I don't even remember, and that was talking to people, and that switched my channel. Say, hey, I could do this too. That little meeting changed the path. Here we are. Share with people and listen to people. I think that's important, but I think the main thing is to have the passion. When you start at the beginning, of course, you have no money. At least I didn't have any money, so I couldn't hire people, and I was trying to do everything by myself. And you think that since you're a business, you need to hire a lot of people, and no. So I started to hire independent contractors. Maybe I remember a young lady was very good. The first one I hired for, think 4 hours a week, because I didn't know anything about scanning, simple thing like that. I didn't know about scanning, Microsoft Words, and I tried to learn, but it was going to take too long for me to learn. That I wasn't focused on the business. I was focused on learning Microsoft Word. So I realized that wasn't the way. So you can hire people. You don't need to hire somebody with a master's degree or something like that. No, you can hire a student, and those people usually are, they're eager to work, and their fees are not so as high as everybody else, but they can work with you. They're excited to work with you, and that's what I did. So I hired students, and they helped me a lot, especially with the office thing, because that wasn't my thing. Simple things I didn't know how to file or scan it, move this. I still am not good at it, but I realized that I don't need to know everything. I just need to know who am I going to call and who am I going to hire. I wanted to learn about accounting. I didn't want to become an accountant. I just wanted to know about QuickBooks and wanted to read how to get a profit and loss or a balance sheet, because I need that to get a loan or whatever I need to. The bank expects us to know that. So if you go to the bank and ask for something, they're gonna talk to you depending on what you know. If you don't know what a balance, a profit and loss statement is, they're not gonna really talk to you. They're gonna really limit their language and what they need to share. But so you need to know the space.
You got everything I was supposed to send you?
Can you?
Oh,
mute
you
your
just sent me something
mics,
else?
please?
I sent you the 2 things that you had emailed,
Hold
2
on,
copies that I signed.
hold on.
And then I sent the statement on the other.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry. So that was, I think, something important because I was trying to do everything by myself, and that's impossible. But you don't need a lot of money either to hire a lot of people. You just need to hire the right people, the right, the right fees, because I didn't have much. So that helped, that gave me time to focus on the business itself, not focus on the operations. And I started to bid for the big things, but I realized I didn't have the capability. I thought in my case that was going to be hard to get one of those big contracts because I was very little. So I realized that the 30% of those big contracts, they need us to do that. So I started to call, and that was very simple. I Googled. I didn't know where to go. I did Google the big companies, So, hey, I called the big companies. Hey, I'm small, but I can help you. And I know you have done money and you need me too. So that was a good connection. So instead of going to the big things, I got the small things, but I got a lot of them. To the point that, and then I was hiring people. I was hiring more independent contractors. I couldn't be in two places at the same time. And actually, I didn't want to be in two places at the same time. I want to be home. I want to be home. I didn't want to work, honestly. I just want to be behind the stage. So I hired more independent contractors. It wasn't me doing everything. It wasn't me going to the places anymore. I just was behind the stage. I didn't want to do it, honestly. So I wanted to do something else. But that, I think that helps the passion, what you have, and don't get disappointed because
Anthony, sorry.
it's okay.
So when you started, you said you started out doing a lot of things on your own. When was it, then when you started hiring more employees, when you got a contract?
No, you know what? I think that's what we all expect. When I get a big contract, when I have more money, and then I'm going to hire. I think maybe it's the other way around. For you to get a contract, you need to be ready first, because people were asking me things that I have no idea what they're talking about. The capability statement, I didn't know what that is until I talked to you guys. Oh, that's what they mean. But you don't want to show that, of course, but you want to be prepared. So I need to hire people who knew that. I needed to talk to people who can teach me that. And that's how I learned before the contracts.
Kenya, I just want to add something briefly, if that's okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, sorry.
When we're speaking about the capability statement, I just want to add for those of us that don't know, because I know when I was walking in to get certified, when we hear certain language, we're like, whoa, what is that? And in the mix of it, we don't want to ask what is that, because we're expecting that the person that's guiding us I think that we think that we should already know this already. But the capability statement is basically like your resume. It's a one page. It's something basically talking about so your resume, you're talking about all your experience, right? Your capability statement is basically this talking about explaining what is it that your business does, right? What certifications you have. Is basically selling your business to the providers of and on one page, right? Putting everything on there. It seems when you hear it, it seems hard, but it's not. There's a lot of resources out there. There's sample capability statements that you can if you're looking to build one. There's a lot of resources out there. You can hire someone to do your capability statement if you want to. There's always a feel if someone's looking for a job. Anything that you need towards your business, QuickBook, a business plan, even if you're not a good writer, there's always someone out there that's able to put your ideas into paper for you to be able to sell your business. I just want to add that because I know when I first joined, before I got my certification, when I heard certain language, it was just like, it pushed me away a little bit because we don't know, right? So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Daphne, for sharing. Anthony, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I just want to, before I forget, because I think it's important. And as we were saying about the capability statement, don't get intimidated, because a lot of vocabulary you don't know, especially in the business vocabulary. If you talk to a banker, they have their vocabulary. If you go to a lawyer, they have their vocabulary. So we don't know. At least I didn't know that, right? I was coming from a bakery. talk to ask for a grant or ask for a loan, SBA loan. You know, it's a big thing, right? So I didn't have that, but I would say don't get disappointed because things not all the time they're easy. And I remember once when I was studying, and it was a lot of things, and I was about to quit. I was about to give up, maybe after a year. And I remember I went back to my old bagel store and asked for my job back. And good thing my manager said, yeah, I'll call you, be in contact with you. When I was walking out, I said, no, what am I doing? World class will never die. It's not gonna die. We didn't die. And I'm glad, they didn't call me because no, I'm fine. So don't get disappointed. Just, persevere, keep going and knock at doors, a lot of, and be prepared to everybody. So for a lot of people say no, and that's fine. It's okay if they say no. They might say no now, but if you do a good presentation, if you sell yourself, because this is sales, at the end of the day, it's sales, whatever you do is sales, they're going to remember you and you're going to remember them. Maybe not now, but in 2 years, if you approach them again, oh yeah, I remember you were over there. Yeah. So things change. Again, don't get disappointed. Keep knocking on doors. One of them are going to open. Some are going to open, some are going to say no, but that's fine. Just keep going.
Okay, thanks. We have a hand raised. Anton?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everybody. I don't know if this is directed at Daphne or Anthony or both. So the question I have is, you said don't wait until you get the contract in order to start hiring. What do you do with your employees before you get the work?
I couldn't hear the end of the question. What do you do when?
So you're going to start hiring employees before you get the contract. But what do you do with your employees? How do you pay them before you get the work?
Well, this is the thing. And as I said again, don't invest a lot of money because when you're studying, you don't want to invest, you don't want to waste your money. You want to invest it. But believe it or not, there are people who really want to work, and if they like you, they work for a good fee. Nothing expensive.
And also, Anthony, not to cut you off, I just wanted to share also, you have colleges, you have internships, students that will work for credit.
That's completely true. What I did, and I still will do it, is go to the universities or colleges, like Suffolk Community College. Those kids, I say kids, I'm getting old. they want to work and they want to put into practice what they hear. I remember my first hire was the second independent contractor. Actually, that was a W-2. It was a part-time. Just a few hours. She was so excited to help me, even with the translations. She was going back to class and say, hey, you know what we're seeing over here? I've seen it already in reality. So she was excited. She wasn't there for the money. She was there because she wanted to put into practice what she's seen in the classroom. So it's about hiring the right person. You don't need a lot of money. Believe me, you don't need really much money to hire the right person.
Okay, Anton, Reginald?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add was in the beginning I went through a phase where it was a whole lot of analysis paralysis. What I mean by that, I was always overthinking things, especially when you look at some of these government terms, it's so far-fetched, whether it's like federal or state. It's kind of like a lot of definitions in there you won't know, but I decided I'm gonna get on, and just go full speed ahead, because some of this stuff, it's like, it may look confusing, but I worked for big multi-million-dollar companies, and I recently got a contract with Bazooka, the candy company. I kind of stumbled on that one. They wanted to hire me, but it just eventually got into like the business and stuff, so I was surprised. So I'm like, I know personally I could do these things. I'm like, I can do this, but I always like overthink it. So now I'm at this phase where it's like, just go full speed ahead. And I just like want to remind I think everybody should keep that in the back of their mind, because it's gonna get confusing. It's gonna be like kind of scary, but definitely make it happen for sure.
Okay, thanks, Reginald. Before I jump into a question, Daphne, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I did. I was just gonna add to what Anton had said about you know, how do you hire when you're first starting a business? And that says it. So once you know that you want to start the business, right? So you know that your business fulfills someone's need. You want to be able that your business is able to solve someone's problem, right? Whatever that business is for you that you're going to start. And then this is why you have a business plan, right? The business plan is supposed to, the business plan basically explains what are the steps are you taking and where you're trying to get at, right? So when you first start your business, you're probably not going to have a lot of money. I started my business with negative in my account when I started the cleaning business. It was at home. I always heard compliments that you clean so good, but I never clicked it to wanting to start a business. I'm at home one day and I'm cleaning. It was like, oh, I could start a cleaning business. And I started printing out flyers and I started passing them around. And then it was like, okay, let's get it certified. Let's get your EIN. Let's get your insurance. And then it was like, I had a business. And my first year when I started my business, I had no income coming in at all. My first client came from a friend referral, right? And that house was the worst house I ever cleaned in my life. But still, I was so grateful because it was like I almost give up, because back to what Anthony was saying about the no's, right? You're gonna get a lot of no's before you get the yes. So once I had that first clientele, I started thinking about, okay, when I hire someone, right, what is it exactly I'm gonna want them to do, right? Am I going to want them to do the walkthrough? Am I going to want them to take the calls? Am I going to want them to do the outreach? So just having the back of your mind, like I said, that if when you're gonna start your business, have a goal in mind, right? I'm gonna be an employee for 3 months, for 6 months. And then as you're building that revenue, as you're growing your business to that next stage, right? You start thinking about hiring employees. And that's important. Every one of you, whatever business that you're going to start, there are interns. I have my own business. I just graduated from Stony Brook in May with my social works degree. I was an intern for somewhere else, and I had my own business, you know. And I realized that at school there's a lot of interns. There's a lot of people that's going to school for business administration, for data analytics, for so many things that they need to get their foot in their door. And your business could be the one that gives them that space, and it's free, and you can't beat that. And you get to actually give these interns your knowledge, right? And how you want them. Not only are you giving them their experience, but you're also teaching them how to run a business. And I think it's a great experience when you have interns walking into the door of a first start, a small business, right? I was a small business. I have 4 employees now. You know, I don't have no government contracts, but I do residential cleaning. I still have commercial cleanings. I'm still building my business until that one yes could change your life.
Thank you, Daphne.
Exactly. Anthony?
I'm sorry, I don't want to take too much.
Oh, Anton,
time,
did
but-
you have a question?
I'm sorry.
No, I just said thank you, Daphne.
Okay, yes, you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't want to take too much time from everybody, but everything everybody's saying is important. And I just think back of what happened. I would say what she just said is so important. It starts with the mentality. If you don't expect your business, you're going to be a W-2 or an employee in your business. You are a business owner, and that requires a different mentality. Especially when we are used to get a paycheck every week, and this is not going to happen maybe every week when you have a business. Maybe it's going to happen in a month, but you're gonna get a better check. So to get used to that, and don't be afraid. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Of course, you have to plan. It's not about just throwing yourself and let's see what happens. No, you have to know where you're going, and you have to know what you're going to do. It's not about just throwing yourself and I hope everything is fine. No, everything is planned. but don't be afraid. But you need the mentality. You are a business owner and you need to sell yourself as a business owner. Because if you go to a bank, if you go to any business you have and you're going to offer your services, they expect you to talk and to speak and to think as a business owner, because they perceive that, they see that. So don't be afraid. It's at the beginning, it's a learning process and that never ends. It's still, new things. But it's about, for me, it's about sales. You need to sell yourself and be confident. Even though you don't know much, be confident. You're a business owner and nobody knows what you don't know. So, but be confident and express that, get ready. I remember when I hired the first time, I went to the bookstore. I got a book, what questions I need to ask my potential employee. I didn't know what to ask. So I read that book and I have a little questionnaire. I'm going to ask this, I'm going to ask that. So everything is, it's not about to be or not to be. Nobody is born like that. You need to learn. And the bookstore, I just got the book. I hired my first person and, it turned out great.
Certification can do big things for small businesses. Daphne, did you have a question?
Yes. No. I want to add one more thing. Then I swear I'll give you back the mic. I promise. The next thing I want to say that there's going to be times where you're not going to make any money. That your money is going to go to your employees. And that's a part of running a business. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. I know that we go into a business and we're like, we have to make this profit, we have to make this money. But there were times where I had to pay my employees and I walked away with $100. I walked away with $200, or I walked away with a negative because I gave them a quote that was under the amount that they were supposed to get, but there's going to be times that is going to happen, but you learn from it, right? And you grow from it. I know when I first started, the next thing that I did was my Facebook, my Instagram was related to people that were in the cleaning business, right? I followed people that I wanted to learn from on my Facebook, on my Instagram. I know my first, my walkthrough, my check off list, it came off someone's page off Instagram that I was using because I didn't know yet. And then as I continued growing, I started tweaking and adding my own style. And then I had my own rhythm of how I wanted my walkthrough checklist to be. But just know that there are gonna be times where your business did not make any money, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that hey, what does this look like, right? How do I grow from this? What mistakes did I make, and how do I change it? And there's times where you're gonna change everything, and that you had a year that your business just didn't make a profit. So I just wanted to add that because that was very hard for me in the beginning. It's like, all right, I'm starting this business. It's about money, 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 money. I need to make this money. But when you start adding employees, you start doing bookkeeping and you start adding more certification. And the next thing you want to do is always be a part of trainings. There's a cleaning training that goes on that I'm a part of. Right. And it's not because I know how to clean already, but I want to always enhance. It's like parenting. It's like if you're a parent or you're in school, you're always wanting to learn something new. So it's the same thing when you're running a business. And whatever that business is for you, going out there, networking events, and going out there to see what other trainings do I need just to add to give me those credentials that will help me to go into the space and speak the language and understand the codes and understand the paperwork that they're asking.
I'm going to take Tanjay's question, and then I'm going to jump into another question before we end this evening. Tanjay?
Hi, thank you. Yes, it's Tanji. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you all of the panelists for the information that you've been providing to us. It's been extremely helpful to me. And it's funny because I'm texting my partner who's also on this call, and we're just texting each other, and I'm just picking up some tidbits. But my question is, I'm assuming that everyone, the panelists that are speaking, that you all have obtained your certification. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. And my question, I want to direct it starting with you, Daphne. Specifically, in the initial stages of you forming your company, you said you were in the negative, and with the process for obtaining the certification, were you and even the others able to get the certification pass on your first try, and or did you have to try, multiple times? And because you were in the negative, because I know the amount of money is a key as well to obtaining the certification. Is that true or not?
So I want to add that I love this question. Thank you for asking. So no, your revenue does not play a part if you get certified. However, my process, it took me less than a month to get approved. I feel like when I hit that submit button, somebody was sitting at the other end of that computer waiting for my application. That's how fast I was approved. And I couldn't believe it, but I thank God. But no, it's about, so your business you had to have your LLC, your EIN number, your insurance, your bank account. So you had to have income coming into your bank account, right? So let's just say, okay, I have the cleaning business. So I need to have invoice. I had to have clients for me to show that I had some type of income coming in from that business, right? And if I can remember, I think you need about 3. The more the better, but I say the minimum of 3. You need to, if I had a cleaning business, that means I had to have 3 invoice, and it could be anything, $25, $10, $100, whatever your price is that you charge for your business, they just need to see that. And also it's, when we start a business, we tend to like combine our personal with our business, right? And swiping that card because that money's in there, but keeping things separate, right? And that's the part about being a business owner is having all your documents. I have a binder that I have that says Dust Away Cleaning Services, right? And I have everything from day one, from the day I hit click to get my LLC, I print out that paper, it was in that folder. When I got my EIN from the IRS, I print it, put it in that folder. When I opened my bank account, I print it, I put it in that folder. Every meeting that I met with Kenya when she helped me, I print out every paper and put it in that folder. And the reason why that's so important to be organized and have a binder for your business is that you just never know where you go, that they're going to ask you for any information, even if the SBA, even if you go for a loan for your business, wherever you're going to go, it's always good. Okay, I'm in my business mode, I'm the CEO, let me carry this binder with me for all the history. I have every paper from day one, and that's important. So no, revenue does not matter. To answer your question, you could have charged someone 1 penny for 3 years or for 3 months or 3 invoices, and you would still get qualified. But what happens is that the reason why a lot of people don't get certified is because they're not organized. And it's like, that's the biggest failure of why certification are not approved. If you're an organized person, I guarantee you will be you will get approved. And having insurance, having a business insurance, that's very, very, very important to get certified. Your bank accounts, making sure that if you are selling to someone, you have that invoice, and that invoice has their name, their address, their phone number, because on the process it asks you, list 3 people that you sold to, right? They need their names, their address, and the date and time that you made that transaction. So that's important as well. I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Oh my God. I am doing a happy dance right now because we have everything in place with the exception of our bank account. And that's only because we haven't been able to just get together to go do that. But I'm doing a happy dance right now because everything that you said is exactly what we're doing. We have all of our documentation from the time we started. And I'm just excited to hear this because I thought the money thing, that the revenue piece was going to be an issue for us So the minimum amount of time that you have to be in business, so this is my second
A year.
question, in order, is a year.
It's a
So,
year,
okay.
yes.
Thank
And
you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
And-
thank you.
You're welcome. And
Yes.
I also want to add that a lot of time, what people do is that they'll get their LLC, they'll get their sole proprietors, they'll get that, right? But won't open a business account. And that matters, you know, because technically your business date is the day you open that business account. So even if you were running your business for 3 years and not having a business account, right? You have no way to show your revenue. You have no way to track how your money is coming in, what money is coming in, where are you putting all this money? How are your clients paying you? So it's very important. And it's also a good way for you to remember when you started your business, right? If you do everything the same day, you get your LLC, you get your EIN number, you open your business account. Now if someone asks you, when did you start your business? July 6th. Because everything's combined to that one thing. So don't just get your LLC, your sole proprietor, your all of that, and not get your EIN number and your business account that same day.
Yeah, we got the EIN, we even got insurance, you know, we got everything with the exception of the bank account. Everything that you mentioned, the only thing that we don't have yet is the bank account.
You got it.
And my partner who's on the call here, that's Angela. So I know she's probably like, she's going to be on me tomorrow. Let's go. I know she is. But thank you so much. We're gonna look you up too, because I want to, you know, connect and stay in touch. And Kenya too. We would like to reach out to you as well. So thank you, everyone, and the other panelists. So like I said, the information has been extremely helpful. And good luck with you to all of you with your businesses.
We have another hand raised, Elsanet.
Hi, thank you. Thank you really for the information. It really has been so helpful. But for someone like myself, I, you know, am in a process of starting a business and just want to learn more about the MWE process. Is there specific websites or areas that you can point me to, and just for in reference, so I can just, you know, start gleaning more information about the process?
I'll put the website in the chat because I want to get it exact, just because it is a little confusing to type it in. So let me get it exact and I'll put it in the chat for you.
Thank you.
I just want to add also, because I think we lost Kenya a
We
little
lost
bit.
Kenya, right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, my advice is don't pay no one to help you and guide you with your certification. It is free. You have colleges, you have organization who gets grant money and funding to help us become certified. So you do not have to pay. My certification, Kenya helped me with it. I was going to school, I worked, so it could have took me honestly a month, but it took me like 3 or 4 months because I had to like make an appointment based off my schedule and things like that. But just finding the right person that works with you, that's able to understand you, not be so shallow and mean because you don't know something or you're not understanding. Kenya was very nice from day one. I asked her a million questions, like literally, because I didn't know. It was all new to me. Everything was new to me. I just knew that there were benefits of becoming certified, and I wanted those benefits, right? But what is that? You know, how do we start that process? I would advise that you link with Kenya Not because I work for her. I don't work for Suffolk Community College. I don't get paid for this, but it was the patience, it was the understanding, it was the time. And that matters. That's very important. So I just want to tell everyone, do not pay for your certification. Absolutely not. You can get the guidance and the help you need from Suffolk.
I think, and I'm sorry, can I add something? Can I jump in? I think you're completely right, because when I started, I didn't pay it really, and a lot of people. I got some I had some people who were attorneys. They gave me some advice because I didn't have money to pay. You don't need to hire an attorney to give you, you know, the beginning. You don't have so much money. At least I didn't have any. Accountants too, is about to meet the right person. Some people are there for business, for money. Some people are there because they're very good people and they like it. And that's actually maybe another thing that I would like to mention, that I think it works, because a lot of people work for money. When I started, I didn't want the money. I just wanted to have a different type of life. I wanted the freedom, because I used to work long hours, and at the end of the week, not enough money. But I wanted to have the time to do more things. So I think if you do your business because you like it, because you love it, enjoy the journey, you know. So in that way, it's not like a punishment. You need to do this, you need to do that. No, you enjoy it, you like it, money is gonna come after that.
Thank you, guys. I had a little technical issue. My computer just shut me down. It logged me right on out. Oh, there's
Kenya,
another question.
Kenya,
Tanya?
can I just also add something about
Yes.
not paying for the certification? Also getting your entity certification, like your LLC so far. I would not recommend you pay someone to do that for you as well. There's a lot of information on Business Express. I think it's, hold on, businessexpress.newyork.gov. I'm gonna put that link in the chat right now for you. It basically walks you through of how to get your LLC, your sole proprietor. It walks you everything from step by step. If you read this and you walk through it and you feel like you're not very confident of doing it yourself, then you look for that avenue of paying someone. But don't start off as paying someone. You could do that yourself. You could get your EIN yourself, and of course, you know, you could open your business account yourself. The part that you start looking for employees is that it's after you do all of that. After you figure out your business, right? What business you want to start, right? All right, now the certifications that I need, right? Have your business plan in order, right? And then now let's talk about you're in business for the whole year, for 1 year. Now it's like, okay, I want to get my MWBE certification, right? Because you need that year to be in business, to get the and in the meantime, while you're waiting that year, right? I know Kenya shares a list of everything that you need to get certified, right? So maybe you could take that list from her today, or whenever you meet with her, or if you decide to meet with her or not, wherever you decide to go, but get that blueprint, right? What do I need to be certified? And as the weeks, the months are going by, you're checking off everything that you needed, right? So when that time comes, it's like, okay, I'm ready to get certified. I'm sorry, my son just bombed me right now.
Tanya, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. So I know you all have your MWBE certification. Do you all have it at the state level? Because there's two different versions of the MWBE certification, and then you have the MBE certification. Can you talk about
Yes.
that, Kenya, could you individuals like Daphne and Anthony and Reginald, can you talk about that briefly? Sorry.
Anyone?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
That is
Yeah, so basically everyone here is New York State certified. In the New York State certification application, you're able to apply for 3 other certifications with 3 other agencies. You have the New York City certification, MWBE,
Okay.
Small Business Services.
Mhm.
You have the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and then you have Erie and Buffalo. I recommend that if you are not able to provide services in Erie or Buffalo, wait till you're able to, because you need to have a business presence there in order to
Mm.
proceed with that application.
Okay.
You also have, I'm just gonna throw in Suffolk County, MWBE, and Nassau County, MWBE certification.
What?
Yep. So each, the counties have their
Oh, I didn't.
certification as well, programs. So in
Okay.
addition,
And again, with the counties, the same
Yeah.
waiting period. You have to be in business a year, right?
well, yeah, it seems like
Oh.
they're mimicking the state application. The questions to the question,
Okay.
eligibility, so yeah. Yeah, and back to the question about proof of business activity. So Daphne, you're all right. It's 3 years of current activity and 3 years of previous activity. In addition to that invoice, what they're really looking for is a signed contract agreement between you and the vendor.
Mhm.
The initial document that they're looking for, but if that's not available or you don't keep that in your course of business, they will accept an invoice. With that, you would need to provide the proof of payment received as well. So, if you're getting paid cash, write a receipt, be sure to hold on to it. Check payment is favorable. They would like to see the copy of the check coming to you. If it's an electronic payment going into the bank account, you will provide your statement showing that payment coming in. Okay, I just wanted to share that. And again, back on to the court documents, right? You could do it yourself. I
Mhm.
recommend, not paying someone hundreds of dollars to do this. And only to find out at the end result that you didn't get all the documents that you needed to represent your corporation. Right, and then if you follow, there's a checklist, like Daphne said, resources everywhere. What you need in your structure, and just check it off as you get them. So you'll have them in your binder kit, everything. And doing the certification application, you will learn to get all the documents. If you don't have them, you will get them, and we'll work on that together. Feel free to reach out, send me an email or call, and we can go through your structure to be sure that you have the right documents before applying.
Thank you so much.
Go
Tanya,
with
we will be
Kenya.
reaching out to you.
And I
Yeah,
just.
Yeah, we will be reaching out, Kenya.
Fine, that's perfect.
I guess we can reply to the email that we got today when we registered to contact you, or do we need?
No, I'll put my email in the chat. I'll put my contact in the chat. But I did want to, before we end today, jump into, I know we jumped over the actual application process and those documents that you needed. We went over some of them. But there's other things in this application that you may not have together, like your meeting minutes, right? Based on your corporate structure, you're to keep a meeting every year and hold minutes. In your corporate kit, there's a waiver in there that you can use for the first meeting, right? But if you're in business a number of years, you are to keep minutes for your meetings, even if it's just you. You're the only the owner and the employee. You would have to keep the record, right?
Can I just add
Sure.
what is the when we talk about minutes, right? I know once again, when I'm on
Yes.
the call and she's talking about, hey, do you have the minutes? I'm like, minutes, what is that? Right? So the minutes is basically a paperwork that you're saying, I'll give you an example. I had a meeting today talking about the revenue, talking about what's going, the business plan for the meeting, what's going on with the business. So, and on that form, Kenya can advise you of that form. She could share that form with you when you set the meeting with her. You would have the date, the time, the purpose of the meeting, who was in the meeting, right? What was the meeting about? The problems, the solution, whatever, not whatever, but these are the stuff that would be on that paperwork, right? So that's important. Of making sure that you are having these meetings, right? So every time even if like for me, I was the only one in my business for some time, right? But when I'm on my computer and I'm looking up, okay, I want to start advertising in Limbrook, right? That's a meeting that I'm having with myself, right? So I'm going to look at the time, I'm going to look at the date. This is something additionally that I want to bring into my business about taking and doing advertisement in the next town over. So I would write that. Kenya has the form that she could share with you, but she had shared the form with me and I filled it out. So that's also important. The business, when you're discussing business plan, that's a minute, right? Anything additionally that you're adding to your business, and even if you're talking to yourself while you're doing it, that is considered a meeting. So you need to write the date, the time, who was there, right? The owner, the CEO was at the meeting, right? The employees, or those are the titles that you would put, some of the titles that you would put on the form of who was there when you was making those decisions of for your business.
Thank you, thank you. Another section of this application I just wanted to go over. Oh, Tandra, did you have another question?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hog the meeting, but if everyone could raise their hand if they have a question, then I just want to make sure that I'm asking. I know this is the purpose for us to be here. So what about attending like network events? Because you're meeting with people there too. So can that be considered, can that fall under, like if I'm going to a network event, for something related to the business that we're going into, and I'm meeting with people there and, sitting down and discussing stuff. Is that something that we can utilize as a form of a meeting? Or do they have to be like a specific meeting where we have an agenda and, we're discussing the topics and our next steps and what have you? Does it matter?
I would say yes, it matters. Kenya, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I would say yes, because the meeting has to be the people that's on the board of your business. Right?
Got you.
Who's helping
Okay.
who's helping you run that business, right? So it's like
Okay.
if you worked at the hospital, right? You know how they have meetings in the hospital of, okay, we saw 100 patients, where our goal is next month, we're gonna try to see 200 patients or what. That's considered a meeting of how you're growing that business. What are you working on towards that business? So it needs to be everyone that's on that board. And I call it like board advisors, like on your board for that business.
Okay, got you.
Yes. And
Thank you so much, Kenya.
You're so welcome. So I just wanted to share too as well, sources of capitalization for this application. When completing the application, I hear a lot about, they're not really sure what that is, right? Because can anybody share what sources of capitalization is on the application? I know Anthony, you completed, and Stephanie completed this application years ago. It has changed since then. Back when they completed it, probably 3 years of tax returns was asked for then, and now it's the most recent. But I just wanted to share, sources of capitalization has always been the same. The only thing they did do away with is the proof of it, right? The actual proof of the payment for the source. So you still would have to say, how much did you spend of your own money to start this business or to put into the business? So it didn't really have to be at the start of the business. It could have been while business is going on over the year or over the years. What did you invest into this business from your own personal funding? So anyone could share any examples of a source of capitalization that someone could put into the application?
For me, because my business, one of them is more virtual. So in source of capitalizations, I put a computer monitor, I put a laptop, a desk and stuff like that. Something else that Kenya told me about, the filing receipt. So when you register your business and you have that document, that's you, putting money into your business, starting it. So those are just a few things. I'm sure it will work different for like Daphne. She'll probably put like cleaning supplies or something like that. But generally, that's what I had to do.
Yes. Sorry. I just want to add, yes. So for me, I did my cleaning business, advertising, right? business cards. These are stuff, any money that you're putting in to start your business, to run your business, to keep it going, right? How you get no, those are all things that you could hold account for, right? This is money that you're taking and you're investing it into your business. So always keep a tab of receipts for yourself of what you're spending your money on towards your business, right? If you're gassed as well, right? So I think can you do gas, Kenya? I think you can, right? If you're going to, because I don't know if
Well, it's an expense at tax time.
Right, it's an expense, right? So you can't do that. But so it would mostly be like for me, my cleaning supplies was important, my business cards were important, my flyers, my t-shirts, all of those things were important. So it's good to have that. And next thing I want to say that I know we spoke about QuickBook, but for me, one thing that I had used was Wave. I think it's WAVE, Wave. That was the way I started doing my invoices and keeping that, because QuickBook, for me, QuickBook at the time was too advanced for me. I wasn't there yet. I was just starting, and I think it's called Wave. I'll look for the link and I'll share it in there. It was just very simple for me to write invoices, to keep some of my information, and it was free. I know after a while, QuickBooks start asking for a payment, or you have to sign up to become a member to start using their high-end service to keep that data intact. But for me, Wave was a good one for me to keep everything in order.
Thank you for sharing that. It'd be great if you could put that in the chat. Marie, did you have a question?
Yes, I just had a quick question. Would it be considered capitalization, or is that the right term? Okay. If you used like one of your own computers that was your personal, that would, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's anything of your personal that you put into the business. Supplies, equipment, money.
Even if you already owned, like you don't have to buy it.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Your expertise in the industry
car.
is another source. Right, if you're using your personal vehicle for business. So expertise is another one, right, that I don't really see as much on the application, especially if you have the credentials, the licensing or permits in that industry. You definitely should put your expertise. Licensing, if you're paying for that, if you need that to operate, that's definitely a source of capitalization. If you're taking trainings or paying for trainings to enhance your skill set, definitely a source of capitalization, as long as it's coming from your personal funding.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I know, bless my dears. It seems like that the moment you open the application. So I was just going to go into that a little bit more. So when you do open the application, you will have 90 days to complete this application. You are able to extend it if you need more time. What can I say about this one? So the first 8 sections, they're filling, right? The first 8 sections of this application are filling. You just go in and answer the questions. When you get to the document list and you have to open up that document section, always choose the electronic method. Fax, we're not going to do fax or mail in copies, because that's how things get lost, misplaced, take longer to reach. Always do the electronic. Now, when you open up those documents, there are some documents in there that needs to be notarized. Print those out right away. Also, determine or figure out if you want to go after that certification with those other agencies, because then there are 3 addendums that you would need to complete. And also registering as a vendor on their sites, on their websites. Will also bring you alerts for contracting opportunities based on your NAICS codes that you put in. So another advice I would like to give, especially when networking, look for the codes. I'm sorry, not networking, but for the codes. Use the codes that you're actually actively doing not something that you're hoping to do in the future. The ones that you're actually doing are the ones that you could provide the proof for, and will be the ones that you most obviously will get because of the proof.
I just have one more question.
Sure.
When you were saying registering as a vendor with,
Yeah, and then registering with the vendor. So each certification, you know, in addition to this addendum, they're asking you to register your business on their site, right? Once you do that, even on the New York State Contract Reporter, once you register there, you can get customized alerts based on the NACIC codes that you put in.
do you have to be, is that just for anyone or that's once
Yeah,
you join, once you're
anyone.
certified?
Mhm,
Oh.
anyone could go after a contract, but again, the benefit of being certified is
Mhm.
this, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
gives you the leg up over your competition.
Well,
because
I'm
of the
just thinking,
rules.
yeah, I was just thinking because I just started. So if I need a year of, you know, generating income from this, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have a little while before I can
Okay, and
apply.
work on your business, work on getting those clients. You know, it could be at least $1, like that pennies on the dollar, whatever it is that you charge for your service, just be sure to be getting paid for it. If preferably by check or
Okay.
electronic transfer into the account, as long as you could prove that on the statement.
And do I have to wait like an exact year from now, or is it like,
Yeah, so you have 3 months to complete. Once you open it, you'll have 3 months, and you can always extend. If you are approaching your anniversary, I would say go in and open up the application to start
okay,
completing it.
great, thank you so much.
Mhm. Does any of our panelists have any advice or any information that you want to share about the application while completing the application, or about uploading any of those supporting documents before we end?
Go with Kenya. That's my best advice.
Yeah,
No, so serious.
I
Yes,
was thinking, I'm sorry, I was thinking the same thing. Just call Kenya. She's very
Yeah,
nice.
call
She's gonna
Kenya,
guide you.
yeah. Because there's so many things I would have done, like as far as the NACIX code. I was doing other ones that I could have put in, but now I have to go back to them like, hey, I'm also doing these NACIX code. Can you put this to my MBE? So it's
Right,
kind of
to
like now
update
it's
it.
like delaying the process. Say if I see a contract that has a NAICS code, but it's not registered to the MBE certification, I have to go. So there was just certain things that, you know, she knew and helped me correct on, you know, so not, yeah.
So in the application, they let you put as many as you want, right? As many NACIC codes, which you're like, wait, I'll use this and I'll do this, you know. But just be mindful of the activity, because you have to prove that you're actually doing it to get it, right? And now that I'm seeing that they're asking for the NACIC code to be marked on top of the invoice or that agreement, so they'll know that code is for that activity that you're claiming. Mhm.
Kenya, can I ask another question?
Sure.
Sure. So I have, and this is related to, I'm asking for a friend. If they have a business and that they have a company, they've been in business for say 3 years, can they apply for the MWBE certification? And also, can you be a part of another company also obtaining an MWBE certification? So like, say, for example, they're a sole proprietor in one company applying, and then they're also involved in another company.
So they can, right? You would have to register the business. You have to be separately, there have to be separate applications for the businesses, right? So an owner can have 3 businesses, three businesses. But the thing is with that, the relationship with the other business, right? What is that other business doing? It has to be something totally different from what the other business is doing. It can't be nothing to complement each other. Because then it looks like you'll be relying on this business. Looks like you'll rely on that business to provide a service in your business. So it has to be separate services. I see.
Okay, good.
In order for it to actually go through that way, the relationship with other businesses. Right?
Okay,
You want to
good.
be
And it is.
independent
One is
of any
logistics.
other. You
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
operate independently
Oh,
of
okay.
another business, or be able to, and demonstrate that.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Um,
Thank you for putting that link in the chat, Daphne.
okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna be having a webinar with the New York State contract reporter as well. And that, I believe, is coming up in about 2 weeks from now. I'll send out the link for that as well. Chris McCann will be on here to give us that demonstration. She's amazing. She does do the 101s. So if you are, want extra help with a little individualized sessions with her on the site, she will gladly do, walk that over with you. Look up help you look up the opportunities for your business. Definitely look out for that link to join us for that. But again, next week, we will be having a webinar. We're going to be talking about the introduction to the MWBE certification, and look out for that registration link for that as well. I actually have 4 more webinars for the MWBE following this panel. So just please look out for the links.
Kenya, if it's okay, before you close out, I just wanted to share my screen real quick. I just wanted to share something real quick. Can I share my screen? Let's see. Oh, I can. Great. I just want to share with you guys what the what the website looks like. The link that I provided just now, you're going to create your username, you're going to create your password, and once you go in, there's a tab in there that hits like if you're going to recertify or if you're new, and then you'll click that, and there's like don't get overwhelmed because there's like a whole bunch of questions, and I'm pretty sure you won't, because you'll be able to have Kenya with you. But for me, this is what my screen looks like, and then I scroll to the bottom and it has my certification approval letter, and I will just click on it just to show you. This is like the best moment of my life is when I open this portal and see this. So as you see, I got certified December 17, 2022, and it basically, it's a letter congratulating you. These are the codes for my business that Kenya was speaking about. So anything that aligns with these codes reflects of the business that I do. So that's on there. And let me see if I could show you what the certification looks like. And so this is my certification. This is what it looks like. So I have the WBE and I have the MWBE as well. I have 2 certification all at once. When I met with Katrina, I did both of them at the same time. So I just wanted to share that with you of what it looks like a little bit. It's tabs after tabs. Like once you fill out one tab, then it's on to the next tab. Then it's until at the end you see that finish submit button. You're just gonna keep going, and you get to go at your own pace. Even though you have 90 days, there are exceptions that you're able to extend, but you don't want to keep extending. You want to tell yourself, okay, I have that 90 days. Let me get this done within that 90 days. I told myself I had 60 days. Even though I knew I had the 90 days, but the 60 days was like, I knew I had crunch time. So it kind of helped me have that balance of how many times to have that structure in my schedule the best way that I could. And also be mindful of not being able to keep up with my meetings because I know I only had 60 days to hit that submit button. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Providing this glimpse into the actual site to where the application will be held. Like Daphne said, you create your username and password. Creating the profile does not open up the application. So once you do that, you will go back in and then open up one. You could do one as a WBE. There's an application for the MBE, and there's an application for both. Does anyone have any other questions before we wrap up the session? There's a question in the chat. What about the DBE? Great question. Certification. Anyone familiar with the DBE? Stephanie?
I'm not actually familiar with it.
Okay, Anthony?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. So-
DBE certification.
Yeah. It's
So DBE certification is a disadvantaged business enterprise, right? That is usually where I see the certification coming out the most is with DOT, Department of Transportation. That has this, the MTA has a DBE program as well. The DOE, Department of Education, I believe, has one. So there's agencies that has this program specifically. New York State has one, but I haven't seen it to the point where we completed an application for the DBE other than through the DOT. There's congratulations in the chat to you, Daphne. Do they have a site visit now? Is that with the New York State MWBE program, or is that with the DBE? So
I'm curious, even with the New York State. Yeah,
with
if
the
they
state,
do it
with the
for
state,
MWBE.
anyone? Anthony, Stephanie can answer that.
We had a virtual site visit. So that's what we wound up having. They do tell you in the application, be warned that, that we can't set up a site visit. But when we got assigned a case manager, they just did a virtual, like a Zoom meeting. And they asked questions about the business and the business structure and just looking at how we split up the responsibilities in the business and things like that. If it was a half an hour, that was all it was. And it was really just getting information about the business and how we run things. But when we went for the recertification now, they're reaching out to us to set up another virtual. So it doesn't seem like they want to come out to Long Island and do a visit. It seems like they'd rather just do a Zoom meeting and they just want you to be in an office. If the office is in your house, that's fine. They just want to know where you work and just get a little more information about your business. I was so nervous about it. And it was such a pleasant conversation because they really just wanted to know what we did and how we ran the business.
Yeah. So virtual site visits.
It was so non-threatening. I was so nervous, but it really is. And they're really interested in what you do. And it was nice because at the end, they ask if it's okay to share your information with other agencies, which was really a nice thing. So that was a big help too.
Yes. So again, Daphne put a link in the chat to the Department of Transportation CBE program. Feel free to click on that and to view it, when you have time. I'll give you a few minutes before we actually wrap it up. We're running a few minutes over, which is a good thing. There's a lot of information here, good information. And I'm hoping that those that have been in business a year or close to a year would take the MWBE certification to help grow, right? It grows. I've seen businesses come in making like $20,000 and they're $1 million contracts. And just like Stephanie said, it can take you from there to way up, right? It's just, you have to be prepared for that, right? And being organized and having a plan to get there, it would be successful to benefit you to do it that way. Right now, there's one last thing that I do want to share. So again, solo entrepreneurs, those in a company by themselves and just, operating on their own and have MWBE certification. And I know it's challenging, going out there to these events or finding time to look at the contracts. But this is a full-time job, right? In order to make it work for you, there has to be time allotted or devoted for this. The one-man operation, you're doing a lot of things. You have different hats, and you can get burned out, but we'll organize your time where you're putting in time effectively, especially with the certification, because networking is key, right? We know that. So we have to find time to attend the events, getting your capability statement, preparing that, reaching out, making a list and reaching out to those agencies that you want to do work with. So, be prepared for it to take you to a place that you've only dreamed about, to a place where our end goal is to be, that making millions of dollars. When you're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to make millions of dollars, but how are you going to make millions of dollars, right? Let's have a plan. And that plan starts with MWBE certification to help take you to the next level. Okay. There's one more question. Do you help with writing your business plan? So here at the center, we do have a business consultant and instructor that do provide the one-on-ones with writing your business plans. So feel free to reach out. I don't see Jennifer on the line, but if you like, I'll put the email address for the center and the main number so that you can make, call us to make an appointment to meet with the consultants to work on your business plan, because you do need a business plan. There should be a plan in place for organization and for funding opportunities, right? So banks will want to see where your growth is, and through the business plan, they're able to see that. Okay, so I will.
Before you end, that one thing I'll leave with for everyone is to just trust the process. In your journey, you know that you have a business in mind, and just take it step by step and learn from it and figure out how you want to grow. And also making sure that the business that you want to start is your passion. This is something that you want. What are you looking to solve? What are you looking, because we know that we live in a time where people are looking for you to solve their problems, right? How can you solve their problems? And that's important. And once you start thinking of that, you'll be able to start your business. But trust the process. Do not give up. The worst thing you could do is say no, because I know if I looked at my bank account at that time, I wouldn't have started my cleaning business. So just embrace the process.
Thank you again. I want to thank the panelists.
Thank you.
For coming out and sharing this information. It's amazing. A lot of information that is really good. I hope notes were taking. But again, next week. Oh, Anthony. Hi. Sure.
I'm sorry. So we're recording this? I know you're recording this, but are we gonna get a copy of the recording? Because this is something really
So
nice.
yeah. So what I'll do is I'm actually back in on Monday. I'll be in the office, and Jennifer and I'll have Jay. I'll get you the recording. So if you would like, the email is there. Anthony, you can email me back to just remind me to get you that recording. But other than that, again, send the request to the email or the phone. Give us a call if you'd like this recording. It's in the chat if you don't have it.
I just want to say the last words. Maybe we have the time. Dream, just dream and put into practice and make your dreams come true, because you're the only one who can do it. You're the only one who's enjoy the ride and dream. His dreams come true. And something we hear that, but it's true. Again, I don't, of course, money is important, but don't do it for the money. Do it because you love it. Money's gonna come, believe me. We usually think the other way around, but it's true. Money comes if you love what you do and enjoy it, have fun.
Yes, thank you, Anthony. Again, I want to thank the panelists for coming out. Anthony, Daphne, Reginald, Stephanie. I thank you so much. And again, feel free to join the next webinars if you have time, but if not, we'll be in touch. All the attendees, thank you so much. Thank you for the great questions this evening. Feel free. I'm a dreamer is in the chat. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the certification, or even to schedule a meeting with me one-on-one to get it started, or figure out which documents you have, even whatever. Just give me a call through email or phone, okay? Look out for that next week's webinar link. If there's no other questions, I'm gonna thank you for staying on past the hour, but have a great evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.